So an interesting story about Dr. Quigley. I have to kind of rewind back to when I was interviewing for starting my practice, and even when I was training in ophthalmology. And we would go to see these experts, these gurus of cataract surgery that were supposedly the best in the world. And I'd watch these videos and watch these surgeons live and ooh and ah, how amazing they were, and all these sophisticated instruments they had designed and special equipment that they used, and how fast they were. And I was just in awe of this whole process. And I knew I wanted to be a cataract surgeon, and certainly that's one of the reasons that I came down here to Southwest Florida. Well, I remember the first time I went in to watch Dr. Quigley operate, and here's this man, doesn't get out there and give talks and speeches and beat his chest about how good he is, and he's not inventing random pieces of equipment and all this other nonsense. Here's this guy operating with his instrument is literally, it's called a canale, it's literally a stick. It's a metal stick, and he's blazing fast, faster than any of these other guys were by orders of magnitude. And I'm just in awe. My jaw just drops watching him do what he did. And to this day, his skill at surgery, at cataracts, is just phenomenal. I'm amazed to be able to be in the same practice with somebody with that type of skill set. And it speaks to how humble he is by the fact that he's not out there beating everybody up, telling them how good he is, which a good chunk of people in ophthalmology who have that type of skill typically do. So I have to give my hat off to Dr. Quigley for being phenomenally skilled, yet a humble guy that's just down to earth and is not so concerned with his own personal ego. And that's really a fantastic combination.
So joining Quigley Eye Specialist has been a really, really cool experience for me, especially getting to know Dr. Quigley. He's a really humble guy. Just really low key that's the best way to put it. And obviously being a great surgeon, that's his hallmark here. As far as interaction I have with him is, I've been to the surgery center with him. I've seen him do surgery. I'm very impressed by it. But he's constantly learning, and he watches me do surgery. I don't know why, but I remember one time in particular, I did a few cases, and I got an email from him later that evening. He said, how impressed he was with my technique, and that I'm such a good surgeon for the years I've been doing it. He didn't have to do that, and I guess that's the kind of guy he is. But I'm super impressed by him. So the fact that he's writing me an email at night saying that I'm a good surgeon or I have good skills, that means a lot. So we always look up to to Dr. Quigley. We try to emulate how he is as a person, and we look up to him. And so it's really cool to see such a humble guy, a great surgeon. And in our clinics, whenever the joke goes around that whenever I have a patient post-op day 1 with 20/25, 20/20 vision, we just say, oh, baby Quiggs is in the building. So it's pretty cool. And now on the other hand, when he has patients that's 20/25 post-op day 1, we say, what's going on here? What's happening? So the bar is set so differently between us. But he's a great guy, great practice. And I'm very fortunate to be a part of this. I've been around a lot of good docs, and he's up there, man. He's my top. If I had to start in 5, he'll be there.
When I think of Dr. Quigley, I think about his generosity. He's not only generous with patients, he's generous with the staff, the community, and others. He is truly a remarkable, generous person.
I'd like to thank you, Dr. Quigley, for making this such a great practice to work at. I really appreciate the example that you've set for everybody in the practice, and everything trickles down from you. So the reason this place is such a great practice to be a part of is because of you. So thank you.
So I joined Quigley Eye Specialist because I was looking for a practice in Fort Myers, where I'm from, where I grew up, where my parents are. And Of all the places I interviewed, and there was a few in town that were looking, I found this to be the warmest, most inviting environment. And Dr. Quigley was really somebody that stood out, not just with his reputation amongst everybody in town. Hands of gold to go along with his heart of gold and his biceps of gold.
I think Dr. Quigley's an excellent role model for any doctor. I know a lot of doctors that aren't very nice and think too highly of themselves. And I think that our career is a way to help others, and I think that having the right attitude about putting other people first is important. And I think Dr. Quigley exemplifies that as a physician and as a person.
My favorite memory of Dr. Quigley is probably outside of the office, just being able to hang out with him on occasion. We've gone to a couple of boat shows or something like that just for entertainment. And Dr. Quigley's a great guy. He's a lot of fun to hang out with, and he's a normal guy. I've worked with Dr. Quigley for more than 20 years, probably 21 or 22 years now. And I really enjoy working with Tom just because he's a fantastic surgeon, and he's, like I said before, he's just a super guy. And his surgery is, he's like the Picasso of cataract surgery, so it just makes my job a lot easier.
He's so tall. When I first met him, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to like stretch my neck to like actually look at him and have a conversation. Best cataract surgeon in town. Very, very generous.
3 adjectives to describe Dr. Quigley. That's kind of difficult. I'd say the first one is he's humble for such a superior surgeon. Another adjective to describe Tom, I can't think of one word to describe it, but he doesn't age, and I haven't figured that one out yet. And I don't know, it's hard to say what my third adjective would be. I can't really think of a third adjective. He's just a normal guy. He's just, again, for such a talented physician, such an easy person to work with, his humility is probably my favorite.